If you're like me, you only enjoy E3 if you're illegally betting on it with some crazy bookie in Arkansas. Don't worry, I'm here to help. Here are my predictions for E3, specifically the Microsoft press conference. First prediction, you're going to see a lot of Halo, but not necessarily the Halo that you want to see. I think you'll see the HD remakes in some smorgasbord collection. You'll see marketing tie-ins, television and movie projects. All of that is going to be there. Halo 5, probably just a teaser, no actual gameplay. Why do I think they'll do this? Because they do it every E3. What else will you see? Extended demos of big games with at least one big technical error. You'll definitely see some Sunset Overdrive. That's the big new IP that Microsoft is banking on for this calendar year, and I think they're going to want to let people know what the game actually is. You'll also see Call of Duty, because we always see Call of Duty at Microsoft press conferences. And lastly, we'll see presentations for at least 2 of these 3 games. Forza, Fable, Rise. I can see the future, and it is familiar properties. Next up, indie games. Microsoft lost a bit of ground to Sony last year in terms of rallying the indie game developers and indie game fans. This year, I think we'll see a little bit of Below, the new game from Capybara Games, and we'll see some other new announcements, along with at least one executive wearing an indie game developer's t-shirt, gaining a lot of street cred amongst people who like t-shirts. You got the big games, you got the indie games, and next up, the family games. They're gonna have some little kids come out on the stage, and they're gonna demo, I don't know, something from Disney, something from Star Wars, which is Disney, something from Marvel, which is Disney, something from Frozen, because everybody loves Frozen, which is Disney, and on top of that, Rare will show up, but it probably won't be Banjo-Kazooie, so don't get your hopes up. It wouldn't be a Microsoft press conference if they didn't spend a significant time talking about things that aren't video games. So let's talk about apps. They'll probably announce HBO Go, because if they don't, there might be a revolt inside of my living room. Other than that, they'll talk about a whole bunch of other apps that we heard about last year and the year before that, namely the NFL app or ESPN. Speaking of television, we'll probably see Every Street United, the show that is taking place in the shadow of the World Cup, and I wouldn't be surprised if they release the entire series that day. And here's a long shot prediction, but they might announce a television adaptation of State of Decay. Why? Because they've been talking about State of Decay a whole lot lately, and also one of the senior members of the Xbox Originals team was in charge of the web series for The Walking Dead. And lastly, to tie a bow on the whole shebang, I predict that we'll see teasers for, let's say, Quantum Break's appearance at another conference later this summer, a little bit of Gears of War, and maybe, just maybe, a new Crackdown. Now, I know what you're thinking. It felt like we talked about games for about half of that and other stuff for more than you would have liked. Take that feeling, digest it, and prepare to feel it all over again in just a few days.